This is a historic day, a truly historic day in the Bitcoin world, the sound money world, sound money space, the financial space, really for humanity. Historic day. Square just flipped a switch. Jack Dorsey just dropped something that changes money forever, changes all assets forever. This is the beginning of the end of monetary premium being stuck in real estate, in the bond market, in stocks, in all these pseudo bank accounts, and Bitcoin starts to become money. Money is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is money. Bitcoin is time. Time is Bitcoin. Money is time. Time is money. You see where we're going here? This is the thing that we've heard for a long, long time. Square just flipped a switch. Over 4 million sellers can now accept Bitcoin instantly at checkout today. Starts today. Zero fees, no chargebacks. All the things we've been talking about for years. For years I've been talking about this. And we had to hear all the FUD, all the garbage. Oh, I thought Bitcoin was a peer-to-peer cash settlements. Oh, that we need this crypto altcoin BS because of this garbage. And Bitcoin holders had to sit and patiently wait as truth continued to play out one block at a time. Settlement in Bitcoin or USD. This is the moment Bitcoin officially becomes everyday money. And for those paying attention, we can see it coming. For years, it was a store of value. Now it's moving into the medium of exchange era. And when culture shifts like this, politics will be forced to follow. Remember that. Politics will be forced to follow. Politics is downstream from culture. You are the government. That's the thing. Government's going to shut off Bitcoin and blah, again, even if they could, even if the government could shut off Bitcoin, remember that we are the government. The government is us. Government is just people. Get the black pilling out of your head. Politics is downstream from culture. There's been many revolutions in this world that have happened. Many empires have fallen. Don't discount the power that you have. Power in numbers. The Bitcoin standard isn't coming someday. It just quietly went live today. Think about that. Think about the world we're living in right now. Just 16 years later. 16 years had zero price, had no price. It was worth $0. And now it's worth over $100,000. Bitcoin payments live on Square is the most important Bitcoin news, maybe since El Salvador's announcement. And it's more important, I think, because it's happening at checkout, not in a government office. It's people, private citizens doing things to help each other, to provide value and service to each other. 0% payment, chargeback, no chargebacks. So 0% on fees. I mean, how many times have you gone in, you're paying with credit card and it's 3% fees that are passed down to you, or the business is having to eat it. It's ridiculous. An instant settlement in a fraction of a second. The Bitcoin medium exchange era just started. And why does this matter? For 15 years, Bitcoin has evolved through the 4 layers of money: collectible, speculative experiment, store of value, digital gold. And this is where all the FUD came in, and all these different things that were, over time, people not understanding. People want things quick, right? We fear and greed. We want things right now. And we all do. We're human. But those that can see the future and see how things are built, see how protocols are built, are the ones who will be rewarded at the end of the day. You build on digital rock. You build on actual rock. You build on monetary bedrock. You don't sacrifice security and decentralization for scalability and speed, because what does it matter? What does it matter if I'm building a skyscraper, but it's on sand or quicksand? What does that matter? Why would I fruitlessly go do this? For what? What is the end goal here? This is why Bitcoin is so important in the way Bitcoin is built, in the decentralization and the blockchain, the trilemma of scalability, decentralization, and security. And now we're entering the medium of exchange era. What's happening now? And we have many other ways that Bitcoin is being used. Again, I know people all the time using Bitcoin. I've used Bitcoin many times and do many times now. And you use gift cards. You can find just straight up merchants who are accepting Bitcoin. Now, obviously, Square's lightning the terminal, Strike's doing it, Zaprite's doing it, all these areas where you can now pay in Bitcoin straight up, and the conversions are happening effortlessly with nothing. And again, what would a few dollars in people always talk about, I got to make capital gains, I have to do something, with this. Well, you're going to sacrifice the 10% you're losing a year in inflation by holding the US dollar for these gains, the 10, 20, 50, 100% gains you're getting in Bitcoin every year on average, cumulative annual growth rate, compound annual growth rate. Really? So you don't want to pay a few dollars in taxes because you're scared of winning too much. Okay. That makes sense. And then fourth is unit of account, the future when prices are denominated in sats. And I think this is the biggest reframe of all. And this is where I think that the human brain has to start reframing when you start seeing everything coming down in terms of Bitcoin. Everyone, or a lot of people, have seen the meme of the amount of dollars going up in a price, the house prices going up in value, in fiat value over the last fiat price over the last 10 years, and how it keeps coming down in Bitcoin terms. That great reframing has to, I think, really start to take hold. So the Bitcoin payments going live today sends a massive shot across the bow, massive signal to society, and just another one of the nails in the coffin of the old legacy world that we find ourselves in. So this unit of account, that those 4 levels are so important as we walk through them. And this is how it's happened. This is how it's always happened. It took gold and silver hundreds and hundreds of years to really establish itself, because they didn't have social media. They didn't have easy ways to necessarily communicate those things. So now Square's Lightning rollout bridges that gap between hodling and spend and replace. If you want to spend Bitcoin, buy some right there and then spend it. It's pretty simple. And there's so many easy ways. And again, 10 years ago, there wasn't easy ways to do a lot of these things. So I'm more empathetic to people who weren't doing it 10 years ago. But now there's no excuse between the ways you can track things on all these different apps and the terminals, spending and replacing. It's so incredibly easy. And you are the change you seek. The energy you put wherever it's directed is what grows. So if you keep putting energy into the fiat system is going to keep perpetuating. It's going to keep growing. This is how Bitcoin becomes usable, not just valuable. And again, as more people come to the network, the more the value grows. So again, the Lightning Network, for those of you who don't know, go study a little bit. Go study Fediment. Go study the Lightning Network. Go study Liquid. Some of these different second layer and third layer protocols that are being built on the hardest computer protocol we've ever seen. And long story short, it's kind of like an escrow layer on top of people putting their Bitcoin there, and it uses that Bitcoin and uses those sats to route payments through that network instantaneously for a few sats for fractions of a penny. And that's the world that, again, for 5-6 years people have been talking about, people have been building, and again, it takes time. So this is absolutely a massive development in the Bitcoin world that I don't think that we really will grasp until it's 5 years from now or 10 years from now. Just like the Roman Empire falling, people didn't really know until hundreds of years later. They looked back and said, well, it looks like on this date, that's when the Roman Empire fell. These things don't happen. Iceberg doesn't just flip generally. I mean, could you have massive wars and massive things happen where the people say, oh, that was the day? Yeah, I mean, here and there. But generally, it's people looking back. We look back in time and say, oh, wow, that was the date. That was the time. That was the year that those things happened. We're not walking around day to day, say, oh, my gosh, Bitcoin's arrived, or like it's here. I mean, you have El Salvador. You have the American government getting into bed with Bitcoin, so to speak. And, things haven't. The iceberg didn't just flip. All of a sudden, the world isn't using Bitcoin. It's these little things. It's things like this. That's why this is so important. These little. Now you have 4 million owners, business owners, who now have to start asking, "What is this Bitcoin thing? Like, what do you mean take payment in Bitcoin? What does that mean?" Think of how many people. And again, Bitcoin or business owners tend to be a little bit more financially literate. Generally, we'll say, I'm just kind of broad brushing, but they tend to be a little more financially literate, and they have more capital. So now these people are starting to really start to get a lesson in what is money, because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's what is money. I give the example all the time that we just conveyor belting, putting people through the factory at 5 years old into government-run education. We just put them in here. We just like, okay, you're going to learn finances and you get me MBA, and you're going to learn, get your doctorate, and you're going to go to algebra 2 and algebra 3 and trigonometry and stoichiometry. We're going to we'll learn physics. We're going to learn all these things, and no one thought to ask, well, do I need all these things? We're preparing for this war that we're in, and no one stopped to ask before you sent the kids to school at 5. Hey, why are we in this war? What are we fighting right now? And that's where we're at. That's why Michael Saylor says all economics, everything we're doing is pseudoscience. It's all this fake world that's been conjured up, this Keynesian world, a fake debt-based monetary system that had to build itself up, and lie built on top of lie in order to keep the system going. That system's being repriced in real time. The Bitcoin fiat price is that system being repriced. Period. So Bitcoin holders now have real world outlets: foods, goods, services, daily payments. The circular economy begins now. Really, this is the next step. Bitcoin can circulate without ever converting to fiat, or you can if you want. When people start using the money every day, governments have to catch up. We're watching freedom at scale, one lightning invoice at a time. So again, this is like some of the sponsors we have. Meanwhile, I mean, think about this. Meanwhile, is long-term Bitcoin life insurance and inheritance in Bitcoin. So, check the link below. You can go sign up for Bitcoin denominated life insurance. I mean, this is the first company ever to do this. This is around us, guys. I mean, this is here now. This stuff is happening. You can go do it now. Just talk to Joe Consorti of Horizon. Tap into your home equity using Bitcoin. Crowd Health, another one. You can go find doctors that want to pay or that will accept Bitcoin. And again, that's another one of our sponsors. Make sure you're with a community of people who think like you or going the same direction, minimizing your health costs. If you want to go check that out, go check that out in the link in the description. $99 your first 3 months. The best decision we ever made the last 5 years is doing that and lowering all of our costs and getting better health providers, quite honestly, and then investing the difference. The beauty of the savings cost is we get to invest the difference in Bitcoin. I'll tell that story another day. It's absolutely insane story I have about that. But the infrastructure of the Bitcoin economy is here. Health, housing, insurance, payments, all Bitcoin native. Again, it doesn't happen overnight. It does take time, and that's what's hard at times to really grasp. So if we want to live in this parallel system, start here. Use Foundation. Use the Passport Core. Paying the bills. We're paying the bills right now. The stamp seed, 12-word, 24-word stamp seed. Go to the link in the description for 15% off store ride. If you want to use that, code Brandon. Go to the link here for your Foundation Passport Core. Get your sats into self-custody. It's great to have Bitcoin, but get them into self-custody. Use the appropriate things you have at your disposal. Because again, politics is downstream from culture. Go use these, $10 off your Passport Core. These are essential, minimal investment to set up your life generationally. That's how important these things are. Literally spend a few minutes and a few of your fiat cut bucks to set yourself up in your posterity generationally. So that's my PSA. Just paying the bills here. That's all. Paying those little fiat bills. And eventually we're going to be in a Bitcoin system, and there'll be completely Bitcoin bills, which will be truly amazing. You don't have to wait. The switch is already on. Bitcoin payments aren't theory anymore. Square just gave 4 million businesses the ability to join the Lightning Network overnight. Separation of money and state isn't a headline. It's your transaction happening at your local coffee shop, for crying out loud. Why is coffee? Coffee is always like the thing that gets thrown under the bus, by the way. I don't know. There's so many people that love coffee. Bitcoiners love coffee, whatever. It works. It's a cheap, easy payment, daily thing that a lot of people are doing. So, right. Love a good cup of coffee, but it always gets thrown under the bus. It's just too funny. So it's happening now. The future is peer-to-peer. It just went live today. Politics is downstream from culture. It is downstream from culture. This is why we are here. We are meant to be here now. Appreciate you guys. Check the links in the description for our awesome sponsors. And I appreciate you. Give me any feedback on the lives. Appreciate any and all of it. Thank you guys so much. I know we've got some other ones going on right now. I've got Mr. Jack Mallards, I believe, is doing his show right now. So enjoy. The Bitcoin economy, circular economy is here if you want it. Politics is downstream from culture. Let's rock and roll.